Prey is developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks. If we slightly tilt the Arcane Studios logo, we can see that it kind of looks like a goat head, therefore paying a tribute to the Baphomet. Bethesda Softworks, on the other hand, likes to use the black cube of Saturn. Don't think it's a cube? Well, look at their own video. I believe this is more than a fictional story, and it might tell us things that are happening right now, not necessarily with a space station, but right here on Earth, perhaps at CERN or some other underground facility that we have no idea it exists. Before we get into it, I would like to let you know that in the conspiracy community we have been talking for a long time about the idea of the elites opening a portal to a different dimension which they would unleash upon this world in exchange for immortality. In other words, the elites are promised a spot in the demonic realm if they sell a soul out. We've arrived to this conclusion by analyzing the different secret society symbolism, and it all points out to the killing of human consciousness. This will be done either by brainwashing, transhumanism, or ultimately possession by the dark purple beast of the abyss. In this game we have all of it put together, as if we, the crazy conspiracists, wrote the game. The story, the symbols, and the colors are quite specific to what we have described in our YouTube videos. What is hilarious is that this same story is in a lot of other games, but packaged slightly different. Doom, for example, also a game published by Bethesda Softworks, is almost like an exact copy of Prey's story. Wolfenstein is another, where they try to open a portal to the Black Sun dimension to upgrade the Nazi war machine. Who owns the Wolfenstein games? Bethesda Softworks, which also released The Evil Within, and that game is almost like a documentary on how Illuminati MKUltra programming works. I've made videos about all of these, by the way. I'm still due with an analysis on Wolfenstein New World Order. But anyway, back to Prey.
Good morning, Morgan. Today is Monday, March 15th, 2032.
When you look at the game trailer, you see the main character going to the mirror and showing the one eye 3 times as he gets more and more sick. I think this is a reference to the all-seeing eye and the 3 pillars, which are confirmed by the immediate next scene, which show 3 silhouettes with a bright and lightened background. The 3 pillars, as I have said in other videos, signify the end game of the Illuminati, the opening of the gate, man becoming like God, unleashing the darkness upon the world. There are various theories which all kind of mean the same thing. The trailer also brings us the logo of the game, which if we spin a little bit, we clearly get the Illuminati emblem, the triangle with the line to separate the capstone all-seeing eye from its body. As soon as we enter the game, we are greeted by yet another of the main Illuminati symbols, the 2 pillars with the all-seeing eye that we can see used by Freemasons a lot. They call it the Eye of God, but I don't know what type of God they have. Looks to me like we are in the neuromod room, and this is where we learn that we can upgrade our body's functions artificially by administrating a serum directly through the eye and into our neurons. This serum is made from the Typhon, which are the dark hostile entities encountered by the ship.
Check in on you, Sky. Just a neuromod hangover. I feel weird. I can't believe you got modded for Alex's clown show at the Tulip. Are you kidding? I've always wanted to play an instrument, but never had the time. It's like I can see the sheet music in my head. I feel like I've been doing this since I was 7.
Welcome, everyone. We've made an amazing achievement. As of 12 hours ago, we have broken the 8,000 neuromod mark. 8,000 neuromods. Sharing skills, abilities, improving the quality of life. And you are to be congratulated. You are the ones who made this all possible. And congratulations to my dear brother, Morgan.
With a bit of backstory reading, you find out that only the elite from Earth can afford to have these neuromods. Unsurprising and plausible scenario for the real world. In the context of this symbolism, the Typhon is their god and helps the elites become as gods and redefining what it is to be human. The corporation doing this research is called TranStar, and the ship itself is called Talos I.
"2030. Talos I becomes fully operational, representing a monument of private space industry. The first neuromod is released, allowing for dramatic enhancement to the human mind and body."
Talos is an interesting name to use. In Greek mythology, it was a giant who protected Crete from pirates and invaders. Talos was the equivalent of the Greek Helios, the sun. In the case of Bethesda games, Talos appears in the Elder Scrolls as the god of man and war.
Talos the mighty, Talos the unerring, Talos the unassailable. To you we give praise.
And Helios appears in Fallout New Vegas, where it brings power to the New Vegas Strip with a Poseidon power energy solar plant. It also helps you to unleash the wrath of the sun upon your enemies with a concentrated light beam. Bethesda sure like their Greek mythology. In Doom they have a similar entity called a Titan, which is an undefeatable demon of overwhelming strength. In Greek mythology, Titans were giants of incredible strength. In what concerns other games unrelated to Bethesda, I want to name this game called the Talos Principle by Crow Team, which is all about Masonic gates, nihilistic philosophy, and transhumanism. It's rated 10 out of 10 on Steam, devaluing what it means to be human and letting us all know that we should evolve to robots and become immortal. So in the game Prey, we kind of have the same thing happen on the Talos space station, neuromods for the elite to upgrade. Everything you know is about to change. Aptitude, genius, longevity, TranStar is revolutionizing the science of mind. With the press of a button, we can unlock the secret of learning and open the doors of perception by implanting some Typhon serum in our skulls.
More importantly, you'll be able to install Typhon-based neuromods. You'll be unstoppable. That's what this is all about, Morgan. You spent 3 years of your life making it possible. Putting what they can do into us. You've just forgotten.
How does the Typhon look like, you ask? Well, it comes in various shapes of living black goo, sometimes with a touch of purple. In the conspiracy community, the black goo symbolizes programmable matter, which if not under careful supervision it can become self-aware, and with its self-replication capability, it can consume all civilization if it wanted. There's some classic programmable matter 3D printing going on in this game, but it's not quite what I want to talk about.
Hello, good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
The black goo theory is based off of the grey goo theory, released by molecular nanotechnology pioneer Eric Drexler in his book Engines of Creation 1986, which pretty much outlines the same concerns except it's called grey goo and not black goo. However, since 1986, Drexler has tried to retract his theory in an effort to focus the debate on more realistic threats associated with knowledge-enabled nanoterrorism and other misuses. In 2004, Prince Charles's The Royal Society's report on nanoscience was released. The Royal Society's report on nanoscience was released and declared the possibility of self-replicating machines to lie too far in the future to be of concern to regulators. The black goo keeps appearing in movies, music videos, cover art, and video games. I think it has a bigger meaning than just self-replicating hostile nanotechnology. It is the ultimate symbolism for lack of consciousness and consumption of consciousness. It is the nothingness in which God threw Satan in. The black goo is the ultimate darkness. The black goo is the god of the Luciferians. I mean, I don't even need to invent this crap. Here's one small example of how God looks like in the movie Lucy. then you've got the leader of the SS, Heinrich Himmler, worshipping the Black Sun, placing it on the floor of the SS General's Hall, and this triangle-shaped castle and calling it the center of the New World. Then you have Bethesda releasing a game called Wolfenstein: The New Order. Perhaps Castle Wolfenstein refers to Himmler's Wewelsburg, center of the New World castle, in which case this is some New World Order confirmed scenario. Apart from neuromods, the most important tech on Talos I is the psychoscope, a mechanism which allows for the identification and study of the Typhon. When you first find it, you see it light a symbol on the wall, the same symbol that the game logo is based off of, which in my opinion it represents the old Seeing Eye Pyramid. Which makes sense because, like I said, it becomes your third eye, which in occultism is an information door into the spirit realm, I guess. While wearing the psychoscope, you also can become immune to psychotronic attacks.
The psychoscope was a breakthrough. Apart from neuromods, it's the most important tech on Talos I. Use it to scan the Typhon organisms if you want to learn what makes them tick. You invented it, by the way.
Make you stay put, but you're gonna die down there if you don't listen to me. You need to calibrate your psychoscope. Try scanning the Typhon specimens around you. Once you get enough scan data, the labs will open. More importantly, you'll be able to install Typhon-based neuromods. You'll be unstoppable. That's what this is all about, Morgan. You spent 3 years of your life making it possible, putting what they can do into us. You've just forgotten. Take a good look. Everything happening on Talos I started here. You were so driven in the beginning. My mistake was agreeing to put you at the center of the tests. That's when you began to drift away from me. We're close to understanding what they're after. What they're building. Just need a little more time.
More specimens required.
So how successful are they with communicating with the black goo?
Back in the 60s and 70s, the first research teams tried to communicate with the Typhon, but this proved impossible. Their cerebral structures are highly developed and intentional, but somehow unapproachable. They have no speech of their own, no language. They don't seem to even see us. Not like we see ourselves, I mean. I'm generalizing when I say us. Of course, I'm not a person. Not like you.
Coming through.
The entire Typhon ecology appears to be centered around the creation of this substance. The original researchers called it coral. Beautiful. But we're not sure what its purpose is. It's never spread outside the containment cylinder. Until now.
Other symbols that you find in the game include the scientifically pioneered ecologies, which is a reference to GMOs and geoengineering. The Kabbalah Flower of Life, being guarded by the Chinese lions from the Imperial Palace in the purple Forbidden City of Beijing. Apparently purple refers to the North Star, which in ancient China was called the Ziwei Star, and in traditional Chinese astrology was the heavenly abode of the Celestial Emperor. The purple Celestial Emperor? Maybe that's why the Black Goo Typhon have a touch of purple added to them. Pagans consider it to be sacred geometry containing ancient religious value depicting the fundamental forms of space and time. The Kabbalah, which has historically been studied by the followers of Judaism, also holds symbolic connections to the Flower of Life. The symbol of the Tree of Life, which may be derived from the design of the Flower of Life, is studied as a part of the teachings of the Kabbalah. Additionally, the symbol of Metatron's cube, found by connecting the centers of each circle in the Fruit of Life, is seen in early Kabbalist scriptures. In New Age thought, the Flower of Life has provided what is considered to be deep spiritual meaning and forms of enlightenment to those who have studied it as sacred geometry. There are groups of people all over the world who derive particular beliefs and forms of meditation based, at least in part, on the Flower of Life. It is said to contain the patterns of creation as they emerge from the Great Void. In the same room we also have the Vesica Piscis, which is actually the foundation for making a Flower of Life. In the living quarters, the dates seem to be stuck on the number 23 with a checkerboard-style calendar. The occultist Aleister Crowley had been convinced of the power of 23. It was the number of physical immortality. He felt that 23 was the frequency of the life force at its highest in nature at the spring equinox. They might be referring to this in the game because it appears to be 23rd of February, so just before March, when the spring equinox happens. The checkerboard, I think, represents duality, opposing forces or energies. For example, in games, I have seen sacrifices done on the top of the checkerboard. The owl is also present on these posters, which is quite a traditional Illuminati symbol. Since the times of the Greeks and Romans, the owl, ruler of the night, was a guardian of the underworlds inhabited by demons. An owl was always on the shoulder of Minerva and Athena, goddess of wisdom and learning, symbolizing the occult knowledge of the pagan gods. The Illuminati, who see themselves as the wise rulers of the planet, maintaining and passing on the secret knowledge of the ancient deities, the owl became one of their symbols and can be seen used by Bohemian Grove and Freemasons. Bohemian Grove actually burn effigies to their owl. On this wall we've got the owl in the center, a killer inside on the left, black and white duality and red and black, which is often a combination of color used by Satanists, and on the right we've got transgressions, which for those of you who don't know means violation, infraction, or sin. Notice one of his eye more enlightened, its location and the expression, very much like a defiant, all-seeing eye. The majority of the game consists of going from point A to point D by passing through point C and B, finding keys to open locks and shooting stuff like typhoons and corrupt robots. Unfortunately for me, I did not have enough patience to go through the entire game, as it was getting kind of annoying to do the same thing over and over. I felt like a lab rat in a cage, so I just had to quit. I think I have presented enough game footage to show you its Illuminati influence. I do show some gaming footage that is not mine for the ending moments of the game. It was just too important to leave out. Basically, you have some variety of choice when it comes to how you want the game to end. No matter how you choose to end, the purple black goo monster still gets destroyed. You have the option of self-detonating the ship along with yourself and whoever you rescued previously in order to not spread the typhoon threat to Earth. This ending is suggested by the machine, and by doing so you will have to kill your brother Alex, or you can follow what Alex suggests and fire a noonwave transmitter in the heart of the coral in Psychotronics.
The coral is broadcasting a neural signal, a secret message reaching to the stars. What I want to know is what is the message, and who is listening to it. I think you know. Ever since we first tested the Typhon neuromods, you've known. This fabrication plan is for the null wave device prototype you conceived. It will hijack the coral signal and use it to deliver a massive shock to every Typhon organism at once. Take it. And the army key, like I What? Morgan!
Massive gamble that there aren't more predators like the Typhon. In the history of the universe, humans have only recently become self-aware. You're going to keep the door open on a much wider, older, cosmic ecology. One that feeds on consciousness.
What is a neuromod? Well, it's both an easy answer and a complicated one at the same time. It is the future, today. More importantly, our past, today. This is the work TranStar does. Every employee working together. It's immortality, and it is beautiful.
There are other sub-endings to these endings, but they are not really relevant to the type of video that I am doing, so let's move on. After the initial ending, there is a second ending that no matter what ending you choose previously, you wake up in a room with your brother and a few robots, which have the voices of the people that you saved or not previously, which now give ethical reviews of your performance. This shows that the entire event was just a test. Moreover, you find out the real situation on the planet Earth.
I want to show you something. What you experienced was a reconstruction based on Morgan's memories. This is the world today.
Which seems to have been completely taken over by the Typhon. However, the biggest shock is when you find out that you are not Morgan or even human. You are a Typhon injected with Morgan's memories, and now you have to choose whether you remain a Typhon and kill everyone, or become a human and join Alex.
Really see us. Take my hand if you do. We're gonna shake things up, like old times.
This idea of the black goo being able to shapeshift into a human, it reminds me of that scene from the movie They Live, in which many of the humans are fake, and you need glasses to be able to tell them apart. But what if this is just referring to consciousness? The people who lack it are the black goo. At the same time, the people who are able to wake up from the low consciousness state of mind are leaving the state of black goo and becoming humans. Truly alive.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Whether or not these theories are correct or not, I do not know, but what I do know is that this game was made by people with occultist knowledge, and it tells the story of immortality from the perspective of an Illuminati Luciferian.
It's immortality, and it is beautiful.
The destruction of the black goo? I'm not so sure about that, but they had to resolve the story somehow. If they would release stories where mankind gets eaten up by the black goo all the time, people would start to ask questions. But if you resolve the stories the way the masses want you to, if you defeat the darkness, then no one will suspect that you actually worship the darkness. Well, in this game you do have the option of becoming the darkness and killing the last hope for mankind, But I guess everyone takes that as a joke. The insane, funny psycho ending. Anyways, that's all I have on this one. Feel free to let me know your theories. Thanks for watching. This is Games Exposed, signing out.
Calvino, what did you do to my conference room?
What? Yes. I was just about to call you.
All I see is a dot.
Yes, that's right. It's the calibration system for the new touchscreen. You only have to run it one time.
Are you kidding me?
Just follow the dot. When it turns green, touch it. It should...
Damn it, Calvino, I do not have time to play sing-along with your bouncing ball. I'll call you back.
You hear nothing from the darkness. It has swallowed Stabfellow completely.